This is breaking news from the Las Vegas Review-Journal, sponsored by Michael Gaughan's South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa.
Welcome to our classroom. I guess I'll just... I feel like I'm back in the classroom, so thank you for being here. Jesus Jar, Superintendent.
You've been watching breaking news from the Las Vegas Review-Journal,
Good afternoon,
sponsored by
happy,
Michael Gaughan.
Transparency Day here for us. Really excited to showcase a tool that our wonderful Assistant Superintendent, Mr. Greg Manzi, will go through and showcase about the work that we have been focused on. And this is, again, an investment of time, energy, and dollars. This is something that the community has asked for. I know my board as well, so I thank them for their commitment and their support in allowing us to do this work around showcasing and being transparent with our data. What we have here, we've gone through a whole process did an RFP, and when we looked at the outside vendors, we were not satisfied with the product that was competing to come in and do this work. So our team put something together in-house. And what you will see is that it'll showcase a plethora of data for our community all the way down to schools. And I'll have Mr. Manzi go through some of the details. If you're a data guru, you will really fall in love with what we have, and you will see it at all levels. So really, really excited to be here and showcasing, and please ask the questions so our community, our parents, and most importantly, our policymakers, that we will be able to see our entire data from schools, student achievement, enrollment, behavior, budgets, ESSER spend, and where we are. As a matter of fact, I just had an opportunity to come back from Washington, because as part of the Council of Great City Schools, we were showcasing and highlighting our district as one of the districts with transparency and using our ESSER dollars. So now I'll turn it over to Mr. Manzi so he can go through the data, transparency, and I'll be right here with the team after we're done. So thank you. Greg?
Thank you, Dr. Jar. Appreciate the time. Greg Manzi, Assistant Superintendent of our Assessment, Accountability, Research, and School Improvement Division. Thank you for being here today. A few things that we want to start with and just kind of help. We're really proud of the work for the district overview that we're going to share today. It's a dashboard that we've developed. Will be placed online at our data.ccsd.net website. A nice collection of reports, aggregated data sets, data dashboards for the district, available for our community, for our stakeholders to look at the information and provide us with their insight as well. Part of the pieces, so this emerged from our ESSER dollars in terms of the priority and the focus to bring transparency to our community. So that's what we're focused on here and the pieces that we'll show you today. As we look up here, we're going to start with the data.ccsd.net website. This shares and collects a lot of aggregated data sets, our standard reporting, and the data dashboards. You have a menu to be able to open up and go to our data dashboard area, where we're going to look at our district overview today, which is available in English, Spanish, and Tagalog for our community. As we look at the district overview, you're going to be taken consistently to a page that provides a high-level map of all the schools within our community, the ability to filter and look at it by different organizations from our regions through to our municipalities. At the top of the dashboard, you will see several buttons that highlight our areas, and they're active to be able to show you different pieces about the district. If we look at our enrollment piece, you'll see the information updates, and we're looking at our funded enrollment focus area, middle school advanced coursework, and our high school advanced coursework. This information is available for 3 school years, as well as by the different organization types, whether that's the region or municipalities or individual schools, and then various student groups as well. Our next focus area is looking at attendance. This is framed for our community in positive attendance, so percent of students that are in attendance, we hope to see increasing and rates that are going up. This information is presented on a quarterly basis with a weekly aggregation. You have the ability, again, to look at this by various school years, different organization types, and different student groups. Our next focus area is looking at behavior. What we're looking at here is the count of restorative resolutions, count of expulsions, and count of suspensions. Same information is available all the way down to the school level in different municipalities and by the different student groups. For here, there's 2 years worth of information. Really important to note that because we know the third year is not comparable because that was our year in distance learning. Our next focus area is looking at MAP growth, which is our measures of academic progress for our students. It's our universal benchmark assessment for our district, offered for students in grades K through 10 in reading and mathematics, and grades 3 through 8 for science. You'll find there are 3 measures and focus areas under this information. The first being the percent of students that met their growth targets based on the most recent benchmark. Another being the projected proficiency on the Smarter Balanced Assessment, or SBAC, which is our state summative for students in grades 3 through 8. And then a projected proficiency on the ACT for our high school students. From there, we continue and look at our annual summative state tests, which is another focus area for us. As we look at the state tests, you'll find the proficiency in all of our summative assessments available. On the right, you'll be able to filter and look at the ACT in each of the subject areas, and the Nevada Science CRT, which is offered for grades 5 and 8 and 10 for high school, as well as our Smarter Balanced Assessment and our WIDA assessment as well. WIDA being our assessment that's provided for our English language learners. From there, we're able to look also at operations. This provides a high-level overview of our current staffing, pulled with the date that's indicated on the dashboard, as well as our most recent information from yesterday for licensed vacancies. This information is also available at the school level and at the different region levels. So we're really proud of being able to look at this information in the different languages. This is available at the top left-hand side as well as the main navigation page, where you can filter and go to the Spanish version of the dashboard as well as the Tagalog version of the dashboard, available for our community to be able to invest and be able to look at the information as well in an accessible way. So the goal is to have this information readily available. It will be updated on a regular cadence aligned to our board reporting schedule. So it's important to note in terms of when things will be updated aligned with our board reporting schedule. And that's to help provide those key measures of student success and our student achievement outcome for our community and for our stakeholders to be able to review as well. At this point in time, we'd be happy to take any questions you have about the data dashboard.
Does the data dashboard track AP examinations, like for instance U.S. World History for high school and what the average was in terms of passing?
Thank you for the question. At this point in time, we're tracking overall advanced high school participation for our high school students, which is available on the enrollment dashboard.
Did parents have a say in any of this as far as what they wanted to see, and if they did, what was the biggest thing that they wanted to see?
So thank you. In terms of gathering community input, we look at our strategic plan as really our North Star, our guiding work, where we had a lot of community input in terms of what we're focused on. A lot of these measures do overlap within our strategic plan, as well as what we're focused on for outcomes expected through our ESSER investments as well, through our focus on our future for kids, community listening sessions, and what they were seeking at that point in time. We do provide an opportunity for feedback on the dashboard as well, so we are looking for always evolving, continuous improvement for what we continue to look for to provide to our community.
And has anyone said, we really want to see this, or we really want to see that?
Some of the work, right, attendance has been a hot topic, and I think the way it's presented here provides that information in terms of the average daily attendance. That tends to be one of high interest for our community that we want to provide and deliver here for you.
Do you know why people would be so interested in wanting to know that?
I think that's a great community one where we have an input and the ability to bring our students to school, make sure we're providing them with that opportunity and what we can do. It's heavily influenced by our community members, so that's a measure of high interest for them, but that they can easily influence. We'd like to see that grow and to be greater than 90 and upwards, so our students are coming to school so they can get access to our Tier 1 instruction and have that on a daily basis.
Can you explain where the funding for this came from, and also how often it will be updated? Maybe talk about that one more time.
Absolutely. So funding, we looked at internal resources to do the initial deployment here with further investment in sustainability through the ESSER funds, looking for that into the future. So that's where that will be going to ensure that we can continue to provide this going forward. In terms of the reporting schedule and the updates, they will follow our board reporting schedule. So as information is presented on, let's say, attendance in a public meeting, then the information on the dashboard would follow an update as well.
The State Board of Education has a similar dashboard, the report card, I believe it is. Is there any similarities or differences that this dashboard has compared to one that the State Board already provides?
So in terms of Nevada Report Card, there's an important distinction to make between the state dashboard and what's presented here. We'll provide more frequent updates. The Nevada Report Card is updated on an annual basis, and we're looking at a more frequent cadence aligned to our board reporting, where throughout the school year, our formative reporting will also be on there, providing those updates that are more relevant to our community and more important, aligned to our strategic plan as well.
The State Board of Education dashboard for the state report card is able to differentiate between high school to high school. Is this able to do something similar, differentiate not just the school district as a whole, but looking at each school individually?
So the dashboard does have the ability to look at individual school data, to be able to look at that on that level as well. That is something, so if we look here, go back to the enrollment piece. Within the organization types, you actually have the different organizations of how we're sliced as a county, as well as individual schools that we are able to look at an individual school, and you'll see that the information does update and represent their data. And that's consistent across all of the dashboards.
There's been comment up in Northern Nevada that there's been question of reputable use of school funding that's coming in. Is this in response to any pushback on showing that this funding that's coming to the school district is being used from the state?
In terms of that piece, it's not a direct response to the use of funding for the district. You'll find on data.ccsd.net, there's a collection of additional reports here connected to questions we frequently get for budget and finance, for open book, for ESSER updates, as well as strategic budgets by schools, and then the NRS 388G required reporting as well. Trying to consolidate that for our community into one spot so we have one location to be able to go find that information.
Are we able to get some of these answers in Spanish from Superintendent Jarrah or anyone else?
Pull up a chair, Greg. We can sit together. So if I can go back to the last one, this is not a response because this has been in the. This is what I'd like to start is. This has been a response to ESSER when we went out into the community. Future focus on our students. So this has been something that we have been working on. Well, not we, but the team has been working on for quite some time to put all of this together. So it's not a quick response to what you hear about not spending the money. If you look at our ESSER spend that we reported to the board, I believe in last October, we were at about 49% spent. And one of the good things that we would expect is that you don't spend all the money up front, you don't spend all the money at the end, because then that will be wasteful spending. We are ahead of schedule in our spend, so we are hopeful that by September of 2024 we will spend all our ESSER dollars. But so, say the same thing. Sí, no, esto no es responder. Respondiendo a la comunidad que no estamos gastando el dinero que han hoy las noticias y que el presupuesto del Departamento Federal no lo hemos gastado. Eso es algo que nosotros estamos respondiendo a la comunidad que querían que pusiéramos todos los datos y todos los los datos de las escuelas y del sistema escolar en el website, eso está ahí. Y nosotros tenemos meses, el equipo tiene meses trabajando para tener estas páginas, para que la comunidad esté informada en todo lo que estamos haciendo en las escuelas. Tiene el enrollment, cuántos estudiantes, tiene la tendencia, el presupuesto, la académica, cómo están haciendo los niños en las escuelas, y está dividido en región, en las ciudades y también por cada escuela, como le enseñaron, que pueden las familias buscar diferentes clases, y no clases, a las escuelas donde están.
Al principio de año, durante su balance, informó que usted sabía de la situación, de los graves problemas que estaba atravesando el CCSD en el año 2022. Esto quizás sea uno de los primeros pasos que está tomando para que este año 2023 sea un poco más claro y que se solucionen o que se eviten mayores conflictos como se vivieron en el 2022.
Sí, esto es para darle más informaciones a la familia. Una de las estrategias de nosotros que le estamos dando a la familia información de todo lo que está pasando en las escuelas, y si hay preguntas, porque hay muchas, todo el mundo que tiene sus datos diferentes, estos vienen de la computadora y de las escuelas de nosotros para toda la comunidad. Así que lo que nosotros tenemos aquí es más información para los padres, es mejor, para la comunidad, para que todo el mundo siempre tengan la información del sistema escolar, no de otras partes.
Can you explain to me how this deals with like tracking maybe behavioral issues in the classroom? I know you told about suspension and expulsion, but I asked that because last week the Assembly on Education, they were talking about one of the restorative justice bills, and they noted the violence in the classroom, particularly at CCSD. And I know you guys make available how much weapons are seized, and it's not going down. So can you explain to me how this helps with like alleviating that issue?
So this is it's a great question, and I'll start by saying that our top priority obviously is make sure that our kids are safe learning and our educators feel safe learning and teaching, right? So this is just to inform the public of what's happening in our schools and being transparent with the community and how it's reported and how we report, because obviously when you look at there's a lot of, I would say, outside noise. And the lack of transparency, and this is also a response that we've been working on for quite some time about issues that are in the community that are walking onto our campuses. So this is an overall community challenge for all of us. It's not something that is just owned by the school district, but it is happening in our schools, so we're dealing with it.
Superintendent, the Review Journal. We've been asking the district for the incident report from the February 9th situation with the officer and the student. The district has refused to give it to us. Will you commit to releasing that in the name of transparency?
So what I'll commit to releasing is I'll commit to releasing the data dashboard that we have in front of us, because this is what this is about. It's not about the request that you have. We're here to celebrate the great work that's happening in our schools, in our community, in our school district.
Right, but we believe this is public record. This should be open to the public. We're just wondering why you're stonewalling on this.
We're here to celebrate the data dashboard and the data transparency that we have in front of us, and we can discuss that at a later time. This is about the work that's happening in this department, in this school district, around our students. Thank you.
What would you say the ACLU has said if it doesn't get these public records regarding Durango High, that it will go to court if they don't get it in 30 days? What's your response to that?
My response is that we're here to discuss the data dashboard and celebrate the work that's happening in our school district on behalf of our students. And
is there any plans to add historical data into this, or is it just starting at the last year and something?
Thank you. So right now the dashboard does have 3 years worth of information in it, with the exception of the operations where we're focused on current, looking at where we are right now.
Last question.
One question we've heard from the Hispanic community is a request for more ESL courses. This dashboard has a lot of opportunities for both English, Tagalog, and Espanol. Is there any push further that this is indicating that we should be looking more into ESL courses for not just students but parents as well for the school district?
So for ESL courses, obviously there's an increase in, if there's an interest in the community, something that we certainly need to look at and to be able to offer that to the community. So if there's an interest, and I think there's more things that are going to be coming down the pipeline and communicating for us or with us, that we certainly will take back and obviously be of a resource for our families.
What are those things coming down the pipeline?
I can't tell you just yet, but more's coming.
Esta opción ya está disponible, ya estaba disponible en la página web.
Sí, ya está abierto, ya está, it's live, right?
Yes.
Sí.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You've been watching breaking news from the Las Vegas Review-Journal, sponsored by Michael Gaughan's South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa.